Yeah, hi, it's Jackie here from the LGFA, and we're on another club preview call as we do every week this afternoon. And I have four very special guests with me looking ahead to what lies in store over the weekend. So as I look at my screen, anyway, of top left-hand side is Stuart Moloney from Aherlow Club in County Tipperary, native of Loughrea in Galway, Stuart, though. So you have proud roots in Galway. Good to see you, Stuart. We haven't chatted for a while. Jackie Kinch from Tinahely in Wicklow, top right-hand side of my screen. How are you, Jack? All good?
All good. Thanks very much. And yourself, Jackie?
All is good. All is good. And bottom left-hand side of my screen, I have Finbar Egan, the former Mayo All-Ireland winning coach, and he's now in charge of Gael in Roscommon. And bottom right is Matt McCormack from the Tullamore Ladies Football Club in County Offaly. Folks, how are we all doing? All good, yeah?
No, thanks.
Excellent. Kind of nervous smiles but on some of your face, I reckon, as you're looking ahead to the weekend. But anyway, we'll kick on. Finbar, can I start with you? So Gael from Roscommon up against Kilkerrin-Clonberne, the mighty Kilkerrin-Clonberne in a provincial Connacht semi-final at the weekend. You're obviously very familiar with goings on in Mayo as well, Finbar, and Knockmore came out of Mayo and Kilkerrin-Clonberne met Knockmore, and the rest is history, as they say. Did you get a look at that game and get a look at Kilkerrin-Clonberne, Finbar?
I did, yeah. I was up at the game and I see Matt smiling there in the bottom corner and came home to get hammered by Matt's team there at the weekend in a challenge.
No, that didn't happen, Finbar.
we were up at it. Kilkerrin-Clonberne are a super outfit. Knockmore are a very good young side coming. And it's like what happens in a lot of counties. Carnacun came to the end of a cycle, super team. You get a team that dominates a county for so many years, and new kids on the block, Knockmore. But people forget Knockmore are a very young side, and Kilkerrin-Clonberne are seasoned outfit. Connacht champions the last 3 years. I'm not going to overbuild them or overhype them, but they'd be training to win in All-Ireland. They've enough quality in their team to probably go and do it. We're hopefully going to try and give them a game at the weekend. That's all we're looking to do at this stage. We'll see if we're good enough after that. But they're a super side, play a nice style of football. But no more than any of the teams here, if things go well for you, we could all have wins at the weekend. But if they don't, we could all be looking like four fools next Monday morning.
Finbar, what's the reaction been to winning a county title? Big one for you.
Well, let's just say I was often worried about ours. They're a great social team down here, a great social side to our team, and I have a niece who plays on it, and I worry about her, but and her and her best friends. But they always said that they never would like to see what happened to Clannad ladies if they actually won one, because they celebrated so much when they lost them. Now it took us 24 years since the last time we won one, so we gave them 2 or 3 days and then knocked good sauce out of it, because I think my niece got 20 minutes sleep in 3 days, so I'll leave it at that. But it was mental, and I don't know how there wasn't a massive COVID outbreak up here, but there wasn't. We got away with it. But they deserved every bit of it. I was smiling there. We're coming up to the 1st of December. We started training on the 1st of December last year. So coming up to the 1st of December now. They were in CrossFit for there and throughout Zoom classes throughout the lockdown and whatnot. To put in the work. Hopefully they get the rewards that they deserve. But I wouldn't think just because we did that. Kilkerrin-Clonberne have been doing that for years. That's why they are at the top. And everyone sitting around this table knows how much their teams put in and how much work goes in. And that's why you're looking at mostly people who've won county titles here. They've put in the extra work, done the extra mile. And we're very lucky that we have a very good young team. I was talking to somebody who was telling me that Kilkerrin-Clonberne lost in 2019 in the All-Ireland Club final, and they felt that their average squad age was 22, and they were a bit too young for it. Now that's 2-3 years ago, so they're getting to an age bracket where they'd expect to deliver. We have about, we're younger than that even already, so we're coming with a young team. But we are where we are. We're in a chance. We're in a semi-final. Got to go out and play. If we get hammered, we get hammered. If we go out and play, we have a chance. If we go out and try and keep the score down, we're going to get beat. So we're going to go out and try and do our best. Been in worse situations. We've been lucky enough to get through. So I'm hoping that this time, we're at home. What else can we hope for?
Yeah, which is a lovely thing, is home advantage at the weekend. Jackie Kinch, you're at home as well to Dunboyne. So the TG Cahir Senior Footballer of the Year is coming to town. Vicky Wall, along with her sidekick Emma Duggan, two TG Cahir All-Stars. How much are you looking forward to this one, Jackie?
I'm really looking forward to it. We came up against Dunboyne a couple of years ago as well, and it was actually in Tinahely as well. And it was nip and tuck the whole way through, and it ended up going to a point shootout, and they won it. And then they obviously went on to win the All-Ireland.
That's
so,
right, yeah.
like, we're well aware of the standard that they have. But the way we're looking at it is we've nothing to lose. We've won Leinster Intermediate this year as well, and hopefully we can go a step on as well. And like you've mentioned, two great players there, but we'd be looking at it that they have 15 great players, and then hopefully we can match them 15 great players as well. Like, there's some great potential in our team as well. Like,
I love it's a great feeling here of downplaying expectations and keeping it all very level and under the radar. I love it. Matt McCormack, I'm sure you're going down a similar road, are you, against Foxrock-Cabinteely on Sunday?
Well, I'd be silly not to with Foxrock's record. They won for 7 in a row in Leinster, which is fairly impressive. But look, I suppose, like Finbar said, you have to go and put your best foot forward and see where that takes you. And that's what we'll be hoping for on Sunday. Hoping to give them a good rattle, see what happens. And we'll be there in the end, hopefully.
How have things been since the Offaly Championship, Matt?
Yeah, well, I suppose about 6 weeks ago since we won the championship.
Yeah.
And it's our first in our history in the club to win a senior championship. And the players been building towards that for the last 7 or 8 years. We come from junior to intermediate to senior. And we're a very young club. So we'd have great celebrations, probably not to the same extent as Gael, by the sounds of it, but some fantastic celebrations and great joy, and great for the young kids in the club, the younger players to look up to our players and have something to aspire to.
Yeah, it should be a great weekend. And Stuart, former Tipperary football captain indeed as well, and a runner of some renown, 10Ks, 8Ks, 5Ks, you name it, Stuart, you'll tackle it. When you think about Tipperary ladies football and the club scene, I suppose growing up it would be Kappa White were very strong, and in more recent times Brian Bruce and Kerr. Phenomenal to see the progress of Aherlow in recent times. Stuart, can you tell us a little bit about the origins of that and the what seems to be a fairly fast recent rate of progression in the club?
If you go back to the mid noughties, Jackie, we actually amalgamated with Ardfinnan to form Clannad, and Ardfinnan contested an intermediate county final this year and got beaten by Galway Rovers. Aherlow, then we went out on our own, and I suppose it was a good effort put in at underage, and we got to an All-Ireland club final, junior final back in 2011, and were beaten by Sperrin from Tyrone. When we got to a Munster, was it a Munster final then at intermediate level? I think it was 2014, and progressed on to that, contested a county final. I think it was 2017, 2018 against Brian Bruce and got beaten by Brian Bruce. Won it in 2019. We won our first one, which was a huge occasion for the club. Like, winning your first senior county title. Got beaten last year by Kerr. It went to extra time.
That's right.
We had the ball with 20 seconds to go, and we're still haunted by it, and we got a bit of a clip and then an extra time. And this year, we were lucky enough to get over the line. Like, geez, the I don't know what it's like in the other counties, but with ourselves, there's probably 6 teams, and there's only a kick of a ball between any of the 6 teams anytime we go out and play. And like, geez, we beat Mayo Rovers by a point in the county semi-final, and arguably they were better than us on the day. Probably didn't play as well as we can in the county final against Brian Bruce, but we got over the line. We were down a point with 61 minutes on the clock. We were down a point, and we got a free to win it. Got a goal from our free taker claim. She went for it. Well, we dispute that heavily. She got lucky with it. Emma Morrissey, that was. But yeah, it's been great. Like, as Matt said, like, geez, the lift it gives to the younger players in the club and all that, like, it's fantastic. And we didn't do a thing. We took the next week off after the county final, no doubt. More than Finbars, I'd say they celebrated heavily. And we're unusual in that our girls played the Camogie and Limerick. We're on the border. We're kind of a split border between Limerick and Tipperary, which was contentious enough at times anyway. But they played their Camogie and Limerick, and they had a county final last weekend. So Wednesday night was our first proper get together, and it was I don't know, it wasn't overly serious, Jackie, put it like that.
Okay.
So the objective has been achieved for the year, but like, if you look at the other semi-final, and I mean this with the greatest respect to ourselves and to Southern Gaels, you're looking at Ballymac and Mourneabbey in the other semi-final, and each of those two teams would have aspirations of going on beyond Munster anyhow, you know.
Oh, do you know much about Southern Gaels? Sure.
They're cute enough in Kerry in that they don't seem to put up too much. They don't seem to stream too many games or anything. So their county final from last year is online. So I had a look at that. They're very impressive. Anna Galvin and Megan O'Connell and Rachel O'Dwyer. She was prolific as a county minor, and she's on the senior panel as well. So they're very well drilled, and they appear to be anyhow. So it'll be an interesting game anyway. They wanted to bring us out to Valencia. I was chatting to the manager. He's a bit of crack, I'd say. He was saying they'd bring us out to Valencia for the game if they could at all. I can make it a nice long trip for us. But thankfully, it's inside in Fitzgerald Stadium anyway.
Which is a lovely venue to bring the girls, Stuart. I mean, they'll relish that opportunity.
It is, yeah. Sure, geez, like the profile, like in fairness to Tip County Board, they've given a huge profile to the ladies' game here. All our games are streamed. And like, we've girls hopping out of their skin looking to play down in Fitzgerald Stadium. Like, it's a massive opportunity for us. Like, the men's club here in Aherlow, like, they've won 2 senior county titles in 2006 and 2010, and never got to contest Munster senior final. So for us, it's a big opportunity. Similarly with Galway, the Galway side of the parish, they've won 3 senior county titles but never contested a Munster senior final. So for the girls, they're very aware of that. Like, it's a great opportunity, you know.
Finbar, going back to yourself and to Connacht, Kilkerrin-Clonberne, obviously, look, once you know so much, they've got a lot of top class players, and you've so much insight and knowledge of them. What is the balance then, Finbar, as a coach and as a manager? Are you, when you're putting a game plan together, are you cognizant of what they can do in terms of hurting you, or are you more focused on what you can do to get at them, or is there a fine balance that you have to strike somewhere in between?
It depends, I agree. I find the balance. It depends what you want to do, and we're not going to go out and do the thing where we get 15 behind the ball, keep the score down. Matt will tell you, we kind of play a bit by the seat of our pants. We go all out attack, and we're going to have a crack at it. And I prefer to die with my boots on than die in your knees type thing, where we're too small to play that type of team, that type of football. So we'll go out and we'll attack them. Yeah, we'll try and get a few matchups right, and we'll see how we're going. We've done a bit of work on them, but they're not Connacht champions for nothing. Like, they've 7 Galway titles in a row, and they've a plethora of girls in with the Galway County Senior Panel, so they're going to be good. But no team is going to meet duds at this stage. Like, just listening to the guys, everyone is facing down a serious team in this level around, but that's what you want. We don't want to be sitting at home kind of thinking we're great and going out and getting slaughtered. And if we go out and get beaten, we go out and get beaten, but we learn from it. But if we go out and hide behind in our 45 with 15 players, we learn nothing from it. We'll give them shooting practice and try and work on it. So we're going to go out and try and play a bit of football. We didn't play particularly well against Matt's crowd. we learned a few valuable lessons on how to defend, but it's they're super. 3-4 all-stars in their team. But sure, again, it's like what Jackie's facing into. It isn't the 3 or 4. It's the 11 behind that we have to win our own battles, move the ball into the areas where we can damage them, and see where we go from there.
Yeah, it's a refreshing attitude, Matt. I mean, obviously you're up against top class opposition as well, but I mean, what do you do? Do you go out and play 15 behind the ball, or do you go and express yourselves? I mean, I think your players and the quality of players that you have would rather go and try and express themselves and show what they can do.
I think you have to trust what you've been doing all along. That's where I'd be on it. I think it's the talent you have in the team and how that works for the team. And for me, if you've a good set of forwards, but it'd be crazy asking them to go back and defend all the time and do something they're not comfortable with. So you have to really push on and work to your strengths as a team. And not every team can have good forwards, or not every team can have good backs. So you got to you got to make it up that it suits everyone. I think Finbar has been very kind in how that game went the other night. I think there was a point or two in it at the end, and extremely well coached team and some exceptional players he has as well. So we really enjoyed it. We got a lot out of it, and I have to say one thing I'd like to say about Gael, it was very welcome. The place was set up. We were well looked after, and we couldn't have a more enjoyable evening than we had.
Brilliant. Finbar is probably telling everyone they lost by 20 points when he went after. But sure, look, that's the way it is.
He's been nice there. He could have let us win if he was going to be really nice about it. Well, we needed that game more. And I know Matt mentioned 6 weeks since they had their championship game. Challenges are challenges, but we'd be coming up in a month. It was over 3 weeks. If we hadn't gone out, what happened this last week would have happened this next Sunday, and that's the last thing you want. I watched them last Saturday in a serious competitive match, and you need that. And they were pushed, not more. Kilkerrin hit them for 2 good goals early on, but it was 2 4 to 5 points at half time. So not more were in the game. And then Louise Ward came on at half time, got a few scores, created the gap, and that was it. And good teams crush you when they get up on that. I wouldn't like us to play the way we did last Saturday next Sunday. Do you know what I mean? Because otherwise, no amount of excuses. So we needed that game. Now, the one girl got injured, but it looks like she might actually make it back. But that's what we needed. We couldn't have gone a month without a game.
Yeah, and I find with a game a week before a match, a big match, you have that kind of nervousness that's there. I think we had it. I think you might have it as well. And then you probably have girls that are fearing that little bit of injury as well, and that they're worried about maybe going in wholeheartedly for challenges because they have probably one of the biggest games of their life coming up. And, that kind of came across from both sides of the ring,
That's always naturally going to be in the back of the head. I guess when you have something a little bit bigger on the horizon, you're going to subconsciously try and protect yourself on the pitch. Jackie, I suppose you're up against a team that, with players in it that you would have obviously followed the trajectory of Meath going from All-Ireland Intermediate champions to All-Ireland Senior champions in the space of 9 months. And you've had a little taste for provincial success at yourselves at club level. Does that give you the hunger and the optimism that you can go and really make an impact now at senior level?
I suppose it does. You're looking at Dunboyne there; they were able to do it a couple of years ago. So yeah. I suppose why can't we do it? And I'm not downplaying them at all. They've an excellent team and they've a super setup there, and we're well aware of that. But I suppose what we'll have to do is just kind of play what's in front of us on Sunday and hope that we can kind of get the result that we want.
And what's your prep? What's the preparations in terms of when you know the caliber of players that they have, but you also know that you've quality at your own disposal? Is it very much a case then of trying to find that balance that we discussed with Finbar between expressing yourselves while also being very conscious of the quality that they have as well?
Yeah, it is about trying to find that balance. So, I agree with Finbar there earlier as well. You go out there and you put 15 behind the ball, you're inviting the scores on, you're kind of showing the fear. Whereas if you go out kind of with a little bit of attacking in your mind as well, I think you can show that you're actually not as fearless, and they might need to fear you a little bit as well as a team. So I think trying to grab the game by the horns and just playing what's in front of us, and I think hopefully we can get the benefits from it.
Home advantage, how big a thing can that be, Jackie?
I think in a club like ours and in a community like ours, I think home advantage will benefit us. The whole village is behind us. But then, like lads were saying earlier on, when you get to this crunch stage, everyone's village and community is behind them. So I think both teams will have huge support. When you do get to this stage in any competition, the supporters are going to follow it. They're going to be invested in it. So I think I would say it might give us maybe a % of an advantage, but look, it can go either way.
And your game is live streamed on Sunday as well, which is something to look forward to as well. Does a live stream bring any added pressure, Jackie? Because in more recent years, it's become a real phenomenon now, live streaming matches. Does that bring any added pressure knowing the cameras are going to be there for a club game?
If you had have asked me that question, I'd say probably 3 or 4 years ago, I would have said, yeah, it does bring added pressure. But I think ever since COVID, I don't think it actually does, because I think loads of production companies have got on board and are live streaming games across the country. And even like with TG Cahill there, like there's so many games available to watch. I don't think it actually does affect players as much anymore. But I think if you had said that 3, 4, 5 years ago, I think, yes, definitely. I think certain players at club level, definitely, I think it would kind of make them a little bit more nervous going into games. But I don't think at this stage it would now, to be honest with you.
Okay. Just a final question for each of you. And many thanks for your time today. Stuart, what does the next few days then look like for you and the group as you look ahead to Sunday and the travel implications and the logistics involved with that as well?
Yeah, very little. Like we'll train tomorrow night, Jackie, as we always do before any game. Like that's the Friday night. We put it out to the group in terms of traveling down to Kerry. Then what the preferred option was, a bus, train, or cars, and they're very pragmatic and practical in terms of their approach. And the preferred to travel by car. I suppose it's maybe a little bit of that was maybe with COVID in mind as well. So we'll just travel by car to Killarney, travel on our own, we'll have a bite to eat afterwards. So very little will change apart from the journey from girls, how they normally travel and all that. It's just it's different maybe when you get into a stadium in terms of the layout of the stadium and the layout of the dressing rooms and all that. Like that might be a small little bit of difference, but ultimately it's 60 minutes, so very little will change in that regard. Like, you know.
Yeah, go on, Stuart.
No, I mean, like they are so pragmatic. Like a lot of the girls have played in Dublin, they played in Croke Park, they played in big stadiums. A lot of the girls were involved with inter-county level. So it's just for us. It's just a matter of going up. It's another game, and it's something like it is bonus territory. Like we're going to win it. We want to have we go with the intention of winning it, not that we're going to win it. Like, you know, and it's a great opportunity. It's great to be playing football. Like you're looking at it now. It's the end of November. Like it's just fantastic to still be involved.
And to have Kilkerrin-Clonberne coming to Roscommon, Finbar. What's that like? And how the players must be absolutely buzzing for this.
Yeah, no, they are, but like you'd want to give them a nice warm welcome. You do your best to, encourage them to come in. But no, I've talked to a few players about. They wouldn't have thought a huge amount about this because we've had Kilbride, who are kind of the nemesis. We're going for 6 in a row, and look, this is my first year involved with them in a long time, but they wouldn't have looked beyond this because they haven't gone beyond it. So whether ambition or not is there, but I feel it is, because I think it was great to win it, but as long as we're not satisfied with that, now whether we win or lose on Sunday, not everyone is going to think, every one of us sitting here is thinking we've a chance of winning. We wouldn't be doing it if we didn't, because otherwise, what are we bothering for? But I think the girls will get. The biggest thing is if they perform like they're capable of, you'll accept whatever result goes. So it's just a case of focusing on what we can do, what we can control. Yeah, we know what we're playing. Super team, 14 right footers, 1 left footer. They all know we've done our bit of homework on them. They're going to be a serious team, but it's about what we do. Like, we can try and stop them, but that's no good if we can't score. Can't kick the ball over the bar, if we can't do these things. So we'll come down and just have a go. But you make sure you're in the game at 15 minutes, especially against champions. You want to make them realize that they're down in a game, and you just want to give them a proper game and play for the full hour. See what the scoreline is at the end of it. It sounds very simple stuff, but football's not rocket science. Just do the right things and do the basics right, and all of a sudden it'll come the right way for you.
Finbar, who's the left footer on the team then?
I couldn't tell you that. Even Noon and their left footer, she's their left footer, top of the right. But they're a good team. They're a good outfit, and they've plenty of good backup on their team. But like, they play a certain way, and they're very good at lopsiding teams. They play 2 kind of midfielders in their half forward line, pull you down on the right, drive up with their half back line coming up from there. They overpower teams in the middle of the pitch, and if you can't stop that, you're going to be under pressure, and the create runners coming through. But they're good, and they drop back and they create a nice dome with 11 players behind the ball as soon as they lose it. Their full forward line are good at slowing up the play. they do an awful lot of things right. They're a really well coached side, and they've been doing it for years, and they've a very good system of producing players for the last few years, and they've a good, really good squad. Like, they're training to win in All-Ireland. You don't do that unless you've got enough good players. But again, if any of the four of us management want to be there, you've got to train at that level or beyond. You got to be doing more than there. And it's not that we're at that, if we're at that level yet, brilliant. But if we're not, we've got to get to that level. And if we don't, I'm sure we won't. We have to be doing more than what they're doing and be better at doing what we're doing if we're going to beat them. And this is the thing. Like, I don't look at this as, I was happily retired for long enough, so I'm going to give it a good go this year, see where it goes. But you know, I think we've a very good bunch of young footballers, and they're coming along. And you know, with young players and all the guys training teams, and Jackie will tell you, if young players turn up and have belief and have a go in the day, anything is possible. But if fear gets in and you're afraid to play and you stand off and watch them play, you stood off me and watched me play, it didn't look good. So we have to make sure that they earn every inch of the pitch that they get. And that's where we go. Like, we don't do a full court, Matt will testify that. We don't do a press up the pitch with a sweeper or two back there. We go all up the pitch. We'll have 15 players inside your 45 going after the ball. And we'll work it up that end of the pitch. And people think that's nuts. And by doing it, and Matt will tell you that got in for 3 goals on us. We leave 1-on-1s all over the pitch, and it could be 1-on-1 inside our 45. Should hell with it. We'll try. You know, I have huge belief in our backs, and you know, let them go, because they're actually that good, and we'll see where we are. You know, and let everyone try and play. I know it sounds daft and crazy and overly ambitious.
It's refreshing. It's a refreshing philosophy. I love it. I play for you anyway. I tell you, you're giving me the chills here. Listen to the style of play. Matt, from your own point of view, you're going to Bray Emmets. So that's obviously a Sunday morning jaunt. So what's the next couple of days looking like for you guys?
It's no different, I suppose. Every game you try to prepare for the very same. The trip itself is a little longer than we're used to. It's an hour and 20 minutes, but look, it's on the motorway. It's off the M50. It's not that hard. The players will all drive up as well. I think we all got to be COVID conscious, and probably, you know, if it's not something you normally do, go on a bus, why would you go on it another day, you know? So they'll all drive up. We get up there early enough, get ourselves ready, pre-activated, get the warm-up going. But like, between now and then, I suppose all the players have to do is eat well and sleep well and have themselves ready and focus on the game ahead.
Good stuff. And from the players' perspective then, Jackie, has Matt nailed it there in the last couple of sentences in terms of what you'll be focusing on ahead of the weekend?
Yeah, there's like your fitness and everything is kind of all you're going to have it at this stage. So it's just a matter of preparing and trying to prepare right now is for the next few days, and getting good sleep and good nutrition and hydration and everything in as well.
Good stuff. I wish you all well. So we'll be looking ahead to in one of our forthcoming shows, we'll be looking ahead to a Leinster final between Tullamore and Tinahely. On the basis of this conversation, and Clann are going through in Connacht, and Aherlow are going to be playing Ballymac or Mourneabbey in the Munster final. So there you go, lads. You've set it up nicely. I listen, all the very best to you ahead of the weekend.
On that now, lads.
Yeah, so here we go. You've heard it here first, Finbar. It'd be a nice 4-timer, wouldn't it? But anyway, good to have you folks. Stuart Moloney from Aherlow in Tipperary, Finbar Egan, manager of Clann, Matt McCormack from Tullamore, Jackie Kinch from Tinahely. All the very best for the weekend, folks, and we may see you on another show in the not too distant future. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Jackie.
Cheers, Jackie. Thanks.